Hey guys, today we are visiting Cadiz, Spain. We're traveling there as a day trip from Seville. We're on a media distancia train from Seville to Cadiz right now. Our day is already off to an interesting start. So apparently we got on the wrong train. It's kind of the right train because this is a media distancia train from Seville to Cadiz, but we got on the earlier one by mistake because it was delayed so much that it came at the time our train was supposed to come. So this one was about an hour late, and I guess our train maybe would have ended up being an hour late as well. When we got on, we ended up having to stand most of the ride since there were no seats free, but eventually people got off, we got a place to sit now, and we're going to be arriving soon, so all should be fine in the end. We'll see you guys at the station. Okay guys, we made it. We're coming out of the station now, and getting on the wrong train ended up not really being a problem. The guy checking tickets was really nice about it. He said that when a seat opens up, feel free to just grab anywhere we can. Yeah, and we actually weren't the only ones who made that mistake. There was a whole group of us that ended up standing for the first part of the journey, and it's probably for the best because it was better to stand for that beginning part than be waiting in the station until who knows when for our train. So yeah, everything worked out just fine, and honestly, we probably should have known better because this would have been the first public transportation that was actually exactly on time, so we should have suspected that it was the wrong one from the beginning, but it doesn't matter. We're here now. We're gonna head towards the center and check out Cadiz. Right when we came out of the station, we saw that there's a giant cruise ship in the port here. So there's probably a lot of people today doing the opposite day trip as us, going from here to Sevilla. But if you're interested in seeing Sevilla, be sure to check out our previous video because we just spent a couple of days there. But yeah, we're gonna see if this city is worth visiting today. This first square that we're passing to is really beautiful. I'm getting a really good first impression of the city. It seems like I'm going to be glad we came here. What do you think, Nina? What's your first impression?
I actually really like it so far. It seems like a nice place. We're gonna continue and see a little bit more. So I'll definitely be able to know better when we see some more stuff. But what I've noticed is there's actually a lot of tourists, probably from the cruise ships. They come here probably during the day and then go back there. So that's really nice. It feels like a nice place, definitely.
One thing that really caught my attention while we were planning this visit is that Cadiz is apparently the oldest city in Western Europe. To see one example of that, we came to some ruins of a Roman theater, but the history of the city is supposed to go back much further than that even. It's said that the city is 3,500 years old, which is really astonishing to think about. But anyway, let's go see these ruins. One thing that's really fascinating to me is how things get built right on top of ruins like this. For example, these apartment buildings behind me are right over top of the theater. I can't imagine living over top of something like this and looking out my window every day over this theater. It'd be really amazing. And we've seen this in other places as well, where you're looking down below street level and can literally see the layers of history. You're looking down and can see buildings and artifacts that are from a completely different time. Really cool. We came into another square, and this one has the amazing Cathedral of Cadiz towering over us. I'm still so impressed by how big these churches can get. We're gonna try to see if we can go inside and get a closer look. You have to buy a ticket to walk through the whole thing, which we're not going to do right now, but we went just inside the entranceway to see the beginning part of it, and it's really impressive. It's beautiful in there. We're now in Plaza de San Antonio in the center of the city, and I'm really impressed by the architecture and the beauty of the city so far. It's honestly much better than I expected it to be. And it's really nice also that they have Christmas decorations up everywhere, even though I think it's still really early for Christmas. We're still in the first half of November. We stopped at a place to get menu del dia. It looks like basically every restaurant in this city closes for siesta, so we wanted to make sure we grab something to eat before they all close and don't open again until 8. Okay guys, our first course came. I have green beans. Nina has a salad with tuna that actually looks really good. We got a drink with it. Mine is Tinto Verano, a really popular drink here made of wine and soda, bread, and a really beautiful view of the square. Our second course is here. We got fried fish, which apparently is something you really have to try here in Cadiz. And this is hake. Nina, how is it?
It's pretty good.
And finally, the dessert. Our lunch was really, really good. Menu del dia in general, when we've tried it, has seemed to be a really good deal. So I definitely recommend trying that. We're starting to run out of time for today, but we do still have a couple of things we want to see for our train, so we're going to go head that way now. We came for a walk through Parque Genovese, a lush, green, beautiful park here along the water, and it feels really tropical, and that's because there are a lot of tropical plants here. And they're not necessarily native to this area. There's actually plants here from all over the world with different signs saying where they're from. Apparently there's over 100 species of plants here actually. It's really interesting to walk through and see them all.
We thought this park can't be more beautiful. We actually ran into this waterfall. So beautiful. Looks really nice.
You can climb up to the top of the waterfall, and we're getting our first look at the Atlantic Ocean from here. Really beautiful. Our last stop for today is Castillo de Santa Catalina, a fortress built right on the Atlantic Ocean here. The views out to the ocean from here are really, really amazing. It's so cool how the fortress is literally built into the water. The waves are like crashing against the sides of the walls here. Really cool. To end our day, we have a beautiful view here behind us of the beach right next to Old Town. And we can see the fortress we were just in over on one side. There's another similar one on the other side. This was a very important port city at a time during Spain's history, so they had a lot of protection here to keep that safe. There's so much interesting history here. We wish we had time to go into more detail and learn a lot more about it. But we just had a day here, and that day's coming to an end. So it is time for us to head back to the train station. We made it onto our train, so that brings our day trip to Cadiz to an end.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. It was a really nice day. The Cadiz is really beautiful. We definitely recommend it as a day trip if you're staying in Seville, or if you even want to stay and see it for a longer time. It's definitely a good idea because we didn't have enough time to see everything in Cadiz, so staying there a couple more days would probably be a good idea.
Yeah, there's just so much to see in Andalucia. It's really hard to decide how to spend your time, where you should be. I really liked this as a day trip from Seville. I know there's supposed to be some really good beaches in the area, not necessarily right there in the city. I wouldn't really spend my time on those too much, but yeah, if you want to explore the area more, it could be a good place to stay. I think we enjoyed it as a day trip though. I think we got to see a lot of the center of the city.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's it for this one, but we still do have more coming from Spain, so we'll see you guys in the next one at a new place.
Yeah, stay tuned.